Hey, what's up? I'm Shivam Pandey. This is How to Game Dev, and this is the first video on creating a hyper-casual game in Unity. So let's get started. This is the game we are going to make in Unity, in which we have a plane which we can control by clicking on the left side of the screen, and you can see the plane is changing its direction. Next, we can click on the right side of the screen and the plane will spawn some missiles. If these missiles hit these trucks that are moving down, then our score will increase by 1. The score is in the center. And if these missiles hit the land, if these missiles are hitting the land, these are not hitting right now. Now, yes. If these missiles are hitting the land, you can see the score is going back to 0. So we are making this game in Unity from scratch. Now I have created a new project in Unity and named it as tutorial game. This is a basic project and I have imported some sprites into it, and these are for the aeroplane, land, missile and truck. So now let's move on. If I go to the main camera and for the background I am setting it to white. Now let's create some land here. I'll create an empty object, rename it as land. I'll add a sprite renderer component to it. Okay, and lock this screen. Go to sprites and drag and drop this land here. Now the land is visible here. I'll unlock it and go back to the land, and now I am adding firstly I'll position it down a bit. Yes, I'll scale it 2 in the y-axis and 20 on the x-axis. Now we have got a beautiful ground. We are going to add a polygon collider now. Polygon collider 2D, and you can see in the scene, if I focus on the land, you can see a green polygon collider is set up on the land. Now we'll move on by creating a truck. So right click and create an empty game object. I'll rename it as truck. Okay, and reset its transform. Here also I'll create a sprite renderer. Yeah, I'll drag and drop the truck sprite, and now I'll rescale it to 0.4 in the x-axis and 0.4 in the y-axis. Now if I go to the scene and focus on it, I need 3 colliders in this. First a box collider and 2 circle colliders. I'll add component box collider 2D. I'll resize it a bit. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And I'll add another circle collider 2D, and I'll resize it a bit again, and I'll change its position so that it fits the left wheel. I'll change it a bit. Yes, that's okay. And I'll copy this component and paste it as new, and I'll remove this and yes. Okay, now this is fine. We have a box and 2 circle colliders 2D in our truck. Now we want a rigid body to this, and I am adding a rigid body 2D component to this. Gravity scale is 1, simulated, that's okay. I am going to freeze its rotation on the z-axis because I do not want it to rotate in the z-axis. It should only move from left to right, nothing else. And okay, we have set up the truck, and if I hit play now, you can see the truck is falling on the ground. And now you can see the truck is falling on the ground. Now our next step should be to move the truck in our scene. We'll now move the truck, and for moving it we need to create a script. Before that, we'll create a folder and name it as scripts. Inside the scripts folder, I am going to create a new C# script and rename it as truck src, and I'm going to open it on Visual Studio. Now if I open the truck script, we do not need these 2 using tags. I'm also deleting this statement and also this comment. Now firstly we need 2 things for our truck. First we need a private float, that is truck speed. Next we need a public boolean for the truck's direction, and we'll name it moving right. So if the truck is moving right, then this moving right will be true. So if moving right would be true, then truck will move in the right direction, else the truck will move in the left direction. So for moving it on the right direction, we'll using transform dot translate vector 3 dot right into truck speed into time dot delta time. Now I'm copying this and I'm pasting it on the else block, and instead of right we need to make it go in the left direction. Now you can see for the truck game object, if it's moving in the right direction then flip x is false, and if it's moving on the left direction then the flip x is true. So we'll go to our script again, and if it's moving right then get component sprite renderer dot flip x equals to false. Okay, and now for if it's moving in the left direction then flip x must be true. Also, if I want that each time a truck is spawned it has a random value for its speed, so at the start I am going to specify truck speed equals to random dot range. It should be between 2f to 5f. Yeah, that's okay, and we are going to save the script. Now we are going to hit back to Unity. Now in Unity, if I go to the truck game object and add component truck src and set the moving right to true, and if I hit play now, you can see the truck must be moving on the right direction. And it started, and yes, the truck is now moving on the right direction. But as you can see, it has moved. Now it has no way for coming back. We need some way of it to rebound and come back. Now we need something to which the truck will collide and change its direction. So we'll create an empty game object, rename it as sides, and I'll reset its transform, reset, and go to the scene. In the sides I'll create its child as a quad, and I'll position it right here, minus 60. I'll change its y size to 20, and I'll duplicate it and set its position to 60. Now we have two sides in which the truck can collide, and then it needs to change its direction. For example, it is traveling for the right direction, so if it collides with a side then it should change its direction to left and vice versa. First of all, let me change its mesh collider to a box collider 2D, like that, and we need to add a tag side on both of these sides. Now if you go back to the truck script, and we can add a collision on collision detection on collision enter 2D. If collision dot collider dot tag dot equals, if the tag equals what we have specified side, then it should change its direction. That means if it's moving right, yes, then it should move left. If it's moving right, then it should move left. That means moving right equals to false. And else, that means if it's moving left on collision, then it should move right. That means moving right equals to true. And that's what we need in our script. We'll save the script and go back to Unity. Now in Unity, if we select the truck and change its position to somewhere here and hit play, now you can see that truck must be rebounding and going in the other direction. Go to the scene, and yes, you can see now the truck is colliding, and here you can see the flip X is becoming true. Now to control the number of trucks in the screen, we can add a collision count in it. So we'll create a private int collision count, and each time it's colliding with the sides, the collision count will increase. So collision count will increase, and we can add an if statement here. If collision count is if collision count is less than 5, then it will change sides and the collision will increase, and if it's more than 5, then the truck will be destroyed. So this will help us to control the number of trucks in the scene. So we'll destroy this dot game object, so by this collision count, if the truck collides 5 times with the sides, then after the fourth time the truck will get destroyed. So this will help in controlling the number of trucks in the scene. Now we are done with all the truck stuff, and we'll create a prefab of the truck, and I'll right click and create a new folder for prefabs, and I'll put this truck into prefabs folder, and then I'll delete this truck component from here. Ever tried, ever failed? No matter, try again, fail again, and fail better. With these quotes, I am going to end today's video, and all the assets and scripts that are used in this video are available on my How to Game Dev blog. Links to both the blog and the assets are in the description down there. Thanks for watching today's video, and if you liked it, try subscribing it. You are free to post your queries and your views in the comments down there, and make sure to share it with all the fellow game developers, and we'll see you in the next video.